Have you ever wondered why some people seem to succeed no matter what, while others keep spinning their wheels with nothing to show for it? Jim Rohn had a simple but life-changing answer. It all comes down to law of averages. If you show up enough times, try enough times, fail forward enough times, success becomes not just possible, but predictable. This isn't about talent or luck. It's about math, mindset, and momentum. And once you understand how this law works, you'll never fear rejection, failure, or slow progress again. The law of averages. It sounds simple, even mathematical, but when Jim Rohn spoke about it, he turned it into one of the most powerful principles for long-term success. This law is not just about numbers. It's about life, about effort, about staying in the game long enough to let the odds work in your favor. Here's what Jim meant. If you do something often enough, a ratio will appear. It's inevitable. If you talk to 10 people, maybe 3 will say yes. If you call 100 prospects, maybe 10 will buy. But the key is, you have to show up enough times for the ratio to appear. That's where most people quit. They knock on 2 doors, hear 2 rejections, and they're out. But champions? They know the law of averages works only for those who persist. Jim would say, if you talk to 10 and 1 says yes, talk to 10 more, and you'll get another yes. He understood that life isn't about hitting home runs every time. It's about stepping up to the plate again and again, regardless of the outcome, because the outcome is controlled by the ratio. And the ratio reveals itself only through repetition. This is why consistency beats intensity. One great day of effort won't change your life. But consistent days, showing up even when it's tough, that's where the magic lies. Let's say you're building a business. You have to make 100 calls to land a deal. The average person makes 20 and stops. But what if you simply outlasted everyone? What if you committed to making 500 calls, knowing full well that the law of averages will reward you? You wouldn't just get 5 deals, you'd get 10, maybe 20 as your skill improves. The numbers begin to tilt in your favor. Because here's the second truth Jim taught. The law of averages gets better with skill. When you practice, your ratio improves. Maybe you start with 1 in 10, but with time, you're closing 3 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. So the more you do, the better you get and the better your results. It's compounding in action. It's the same in relationships. Maybe you feel like people don't respond to your energy or that your efforts go unnoticed. But keep showing up with kindness. Keep reaching out, being present. The more you invest in people, the more your odds improve. Maybe 1 in 10 will truly appreciate it. Maybe 1 in 20 will stay in your life long term. But if you stop showing up, you eliminate the possibility entirely. This is where Jim's brilliance shines. He made you realize that failure is not rejection. It's just part of the math. Rejection is not personal. It's part of the process. And that's liberating. It frees you to take action without the emotional baggage. He would say, some will, some won't. So what? Someone's waiting. That mindset can change your life. If you're creating content, writing books, building your dream, and not seeing the results yet, trust the law of averages. Your 5th video might flop, your 10th might go unnoticed, but your 50th could blow up. But you'll never reach it unless you create the 49 before it. This law teaches you not just to work, but to work long enough to see the harvest. No farmer plants seeds and expects fruit overnight. They water, they wait, and they trust the process. Success works the same way. Your job is to plant seeds daily. Conversations, actions, efforts, and let the averages do their job. And the best part? The law works in all areas. Want to get healthier? Hit the gym 30 times. And maybe only 10 workouts feel amazing, but those 10 are worth it. The rest still count. Want to build wealth? Save, invest, learn, and yes, sometimes lose. But stay in the game long enough, and the averages reward discipline. So stop worrying if today wasn't perfect. Stop judging your progress by a single event. Zoom out. Look at your consistency, your discipline, your ability to show up when it's boring or hard. That's where your edge lies. Jim Rohn never promised instant success, but he promised that success is guaranteed to the one who honors the law of averages, to the one who stays in motion, keeps learning, and never quits before the numbers start working. You don't need to be lucky. You don't need to be the most talented. You just need to be consistent. Keep knocking. Keep asking. Keep showing up. Because eventually, the averages will find you. And when they do, all that effort will finally make sense. There's a reason Jim Rohn stressed patience when talking about this principle. He knew that in our fast-paced world, we're conditioned to expect immediate results. We live in a world of instant gratification. Fast food, quick likes, rapid responses. But the law of averages doesn't operate on your schedule. It works on nature's schedule. And nature demands consistency. Jim once said, if you do the work, the results will come, not always when you want, but always on time. That's the heart of this philosophy. You don't plant one seed and expect a forest the next morning. You don't make one phone call and expect a six-figure outcome. You show up, you repeat, and over time, the results start showing up often when you least expect them. This law teaches us not to be discouraged by the early silence. Your first 20 efforts might be met with indifference. Your early videos may get few views. Your first clients might say no. But that doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're counting. You're tracking your way toward the breakthrough. Here's the shift. Stop tying your emotions to individual outcomes. Tie them to your effort. Tie your pride to the fact that you showed up again today. That you didn't let rejection silence your voice. That you knocked on the next door, made the next call, created the next piece of work. That's where self-respect is born, not in outcomes, but in endurance. And here's another layer. The law of averages can be accelerated by activity. If it takes 1 in 10 to get a yes, then talk to 100 instead of 10. Most people complain about low results without realizing they simply haven't put enough volume into the equation. Activity increases probability. And if your skill is growing, then every effort gets you closer to a win. Jim used to say, you can get better, and when you get better, your ratio improves. So if you want to succeed faster, increase your activity and improve your skill. That's how the law of averages goes from a trickle to a flood. This principle also gives you emotional strength. You stop fearing rejection because you see it as progress. Every no is just a number that moves you closer to the yes. It becomes a game, not of ego, but of discipline. Even your confidence starts compounding. When you know the math is in your favor, you're less attached to any one moment. You walk taller. You speak clearer. You act with calm persistence. And that persistence separates amateurs from professionals. The amateur is ruled by mood. They act only when they feel inspired. The professional is ruled by principle. They act because they understand the averages. Jim Rohn modeled this beautifully. He didn't start out as a master speaker or business philosopher. He started out making small efforts, one after another, rejected often, ignored, but over time, with enough repetitions, the numbers worked in his favor. His influence grew. His message spread, not overnight, but through the power of consistency backed by belief. So let me ask you, where in your life have you stopped too soon? Where did you expect instant results? And because they didn't come, you walked away. That might be the exact area where the law of averages is waiting to reward you, if you'd only return and repeat. Go back to your goals with this mindset. I'm not here to win instantly. I'm here to win inevitably. The question isn't, will it work? The question is, will I work it long enough? The law of averages is proof that the universe respects persistence, that life rewards those who respect the process, that success is not reserved for the gifted, but for the consistent. And if you live by this law, if you keep showing up no matter how many times it takes, the averages will bow in your favor. And the life you dream of will no longer be a matter of luck. It will be the natural outcome of your discipline. Now, let's take this a step further. The law of averages doesn't just apply to sales, effort, or rejection. It applies to your mindset, your habits, your relationships. Whatever you repeat often enough, you begin to see patterns. And once you see the patterns, you can start predicting results. This is powerful. Let's say you adopt the habit of reading just 10 pages of a good book every day. That doesn't sound life-changing, does it? But over the course of a year, that's 3,650 pages, the equivalent of more than a dozen books. Now apply the law of averages. Most people don't finish even one book a year. You just put yourself in the top 1% of learners by doing something small repeatedly. Or take your health. If you work out 3 days a week, not every day, just 3, and you do that for 6 months, your body will transform. You don't need extreme effort. You need consistent effort. The law of averages doesn't care how flashy your workout is. It rewards the one who shows up. Even in relationships, it holds true. Make time to express gratitude to your partner, your kids, your parents, just once a day. Send a kind message. Say thank you. Be present. Over time, those tiny gestures add up. They build trust. They deepen love. They change the tone of your home. Not all at once, but inevitably. Jim taught that success is neither magical nor mysterious. It's the natural consequence of consistently applying basic fundamentals. That's exactly what the law of averages teaches us. You don't need to be extraordinary. You need to be consistent. And if you want extraordinary results, just be consistent for longer than most people are willing to be. So, how do you apply this today? First, get clear on your numbers. What are your key actions? How many times have you taken them? If you're trying to improve your career, how many networking calls have you made? How many job applications? If you're building a brand, how many pieces of content have you created? If you're trying to build a business, how many people have you reached out to? Track your activity. Get honest about your output. Because until you do, you're just guessing. Second, detach from outcome. That's hard, I know. We want that instant feedback, likes, results, praise. But in the early stages, you're just laying bricks. You're not building a mansion yet. You're building a foundation. So be proud of the brick. One good brick a day is how the palace gets built. And third, improve your ratios. If your current average is 1 success in 10 tries, and you want to improve it, don't just do more, do better. Study, adjust, ask for feedback. Watch how the top performers do it. That's how you evolve. Because here's the secret Jim knew. Your current average is not fixed. It's flexible. It improves when you improve. The law of averages isn't just a passive rule. It's a living mirror. It reflects your discipline, your mindset, your courage to keep going. And the more you grow, the more the averages start tipping in your favor. That's why this principle is so freeing. You're not a victim of circumstances. You're not at the mercy of fate. You're simply in the middle of your own math problem. And the solution is to keep showing up and keep leveling up. Eventually, success becomes predictable. Not guaranteed, but predictable. Because you understand the game now. You don't just hope. You execute. You don't chase luck. You create momentum. You don't panic at a no. You smile because you know a yes is just a few numbers away. That's the mindset of someone who wins. That's what Jim Rohn wanted to teach us, that the law of averages is the silent partner of every champion. And if you honor it, if you live it, your breakthrough won't be an accident. It will be a matter of time.